Okay, so a lot of times when I show off new tools, I feel like in the end, I probably dove too deep into the weeds. So I'm gonna give myself 5 minutes to show the highlights of my new script here. Let's put on the time and get started. Let's start off simple. We can select keyframes and attach them to the endpoint of a layer. And obviously we can do that with the out point, which makes it nice. So if we copy a bunch of keyframes and paste them, we can then just go ahead and move those to the out point. We can go ahead and move things according to the CTI, so we can line them to the right or left of the CTI. Let me go back. We can also have different modes. So if we want these to stay in the same staggering, but just move to the CTI, here I can hold down Control, and this works in a global fashion. Here we can color code keyframes, and there's different tools to do that really quickly. Yellow means that they're going to be attached to the endpoint of the layer. Blue is attached to the out point. Pink means that these are what I call protected, but they will move with the layer and stay in their relative position, but the spacing between the keyframes here will stay the same. So if you have something that you do not want the keyframes to change at all within that group, they will keep their spacing. Green is stretch. They will fill the space between the pink and the blue here. So different zones are created within the layer. So if we click on the layer, and we're going to go ahead and activate this, and I can just drag this out and then click apply. We can come in here and we can do multiple layers at once. Let's go ahead and click apply. If you have a layer selected, it'll only apply to the layer you have selected. If I deselect everything and apply, we're going to go ahead and apply to all. Let's go ahead and bake that in. Now you don't have to modify keyframes with this as well. If the keyframes have no color or different colors, then they will not move. We also have the option to nudge. So we have different nudging options. By default, if I click on extend to the right, you can see that we're moving the clip to the right, but nothing is moving. Here I'm going to hold Alt to bring that endpoint back to the left. And obviously we can hold Shift as well if we want to go by 10 frame increments. Let's go ahead and turn on Ripple. So now with Ripple, as I move forward, the layers to the right of this selection move with it, and then we can move left as well. And so this makes it really nice to be able to retime a layer and then also nudge the layers to the left or right of your selection. So another nudge mode we have is based off the CTI. So in CTI mode, anything to the right of the CTI here will be affected with extend right, and then on extend left, anything to the left is adjusted. We do not have to have anything selected. So with nothing selected, if I extend to the right, the layers at the CTI are extended. The layers that are not at the CTI but right of the CTI are nudged. And obviously the same thing happens in the other direction. Now, right now I have it in a mode to ignore colors of the keyframes. So in this particular mode, anything to the left of the CTI gets moved to the left. Anything to the right of the CTI gets moved to the right. And we have adjustments for how that behaves within the settings. And then we can have a selection as well. And that means that we're only going to affect layers that are selected. And so these are at the CTI, so they nudge. If I select these as well, these yellow layers are not at the CTI, so they get nudged, and these are extended. Let's take a look at what happens when we have precomp. So let me double click this precomp. I'm going to bring it down here so that we can see it at the same time as seeing our main comp. Let's adjust the window. So with this, if I want to extend it, here we can actually retime our precomp while we're in our main comp. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm in nudge mode Ripple, and so I can just start clicking, and you can see that since I have colored keyframes down here, they are respected. We're extending these layers, and then these are getting nudged, and so I can extend this layer, this precomp, as much as I want in any direction. And then this works as well in CTI mode. So right now I still have it in the mode to ignore the color keyframes, and so we can go ahead and just extend from that point. And you can see that little bit of a jump there. That's because it auto extends the duration of the pre-comp if needed. I know it looks like the CTI is off, but that's just part of After Effects. If I double click on the pre-comp here in the main comp, that CTI is in the same location.